Once we have defined what emotions affect you, and you have learned some techniques to balance them, we're now going to enter the second part of this process in which we are recognizing what the emotion caused by the thoughts of the wish you want to dissociate from. As you might remember, the first question I asked you, and the one we worked on in the previous sections, was what emotion you were feeling associated with the thoughts that hurt you. From there, the second question that arises, and that you are going to write down in the corresponding box on your psychic map, is why that emotion affects you. So, if you have defined that, for example, you feel anger, now I want you to reflect on the cause of that anger that you are feeling, or sadness, or anguish, or anxiety, depending on your case. An example of a cause of anger could be that you feel very angry when you think that the person who abandoned you, that is your ex-partner, could be laughing at you right now with his new partner. It is a fairly recurring reason. Do you notice? You recognize the emotion, which is what we did previously, and now we do a process of greater self-awareness by establishing the origin of that emotion. As you can see, almost always this reason for the emotion you are feeling will be related to what the other person does to you to make you feel that way. That is exactly what I want you to find in this frame. Here, I want you to establish the origin of the emotion you experience, but associated with what the person who hurts you does to you. I feel anxious because my mother or father will humiliate me if I do such an action. As you can see, here we are bringing to light what is really bothering you. That is the purpose of all therapy, so that you can define what causes you pain in order to find the best cure for your particular case. And this is where the point of this question will arise, that you notice that what others do matters too much to you. If this is your problem, clearly the solution would be to help you to stop caring about the perception that others have of you, because your ex-partner's laughter is nothing more than an illusion to which your own psyche is subjecting you. So, how do we solve such a problem? The key is to focus on your own greatness, because there is an issue of insecurity here. You think that if others see you as someone inferior to them, you immediately begin to assume that is true, when in reality, it is not. If your ex-partner laughs at you, he or she has a problem with making fun of people who are suffering. It is not something that has to do with you, but it is the manifestation of your own insecurities. And therefore, to solve this problem, I want you to think about a time when you felt great and write it down in the respective box of your psychic map, the one I am showing here. I want you to think about a talent that you have that makes people admire you. Of course, if you are in a depressed or insecure state, you could fall into the situation of telling me, no one admires me for anything. But I want you to notice that that is not the case. Everyone has something that others admire them for. In my case, to give you an example, I interpret dreams. It is a natural talent that comes with me. I am sure you have something for which you stand out without any effort. If others don't notice the talent, I want you to focus on that natural talent that arises in you and that makes you feel motivated, happy, joyful when you practice it. It could be that you enjoy drawing, for example. Sometimes one has talents but refuses to exercise them in public, precisely because of the issue of insecurity that we are talking about here. As you can see, thanks to this, you have added a new antidote to your repertoire of psychic medicines that we have been developing in this module. We have already brought to light what affects you, we have identified it, we have defined it, and once we have done this, we have developed what you need to dissociate yourself from the origin of that emotion. So I want you to think about what causes the emotion you are feeling, and on that basis, I want you to induce the thought in which you see that person doing exactly what hurts you the most. In the case of this example, it is your ex laughing at you with his new partner. You're going to feel that emotion, but you already have the tools to deal with that emotion. You could start by applying what you learned in the previous sections. But in the case of the origin of the emotion, since you have already identified what is happening to you, you already know that what your ex-partner thinks of you matters too much to you. I want you to focus on your own greatness, just as I told you before. Take that thought or those thoughts that you have already recognized and activate them. I want you to visualize yourself doing that activity for which everyone congratulates you. I want you to focus on your own talent. I want you to think about the time when people compliment you, on how great you are, when you do the thing that makes you so special in the eyes of others. And if you cannot find that moment, I want you to visualize yourself doing that something that makes you feel unique, valuable, perfect. And on that basis, I want you to visualize yourself congratulating yourself for being as great as you are. I am sure that if you performed this exercise correctly, you will notice that the level of anger that arises in you due to seeing your ex laughing at you will decrease exponentially. And as the image of your talent emerges, I now want you to begin blurring the image of your ex laughing at you. I leave the image of your great talent clearer and brighter than ever. So I want every time the emotion that hurts you arises, along with the recognizing the emotion, I want you to define the reason why that emotion bothers you. And that you apply the technique of unique talent so that you can dissociate yourself from that reason that until now has caused you so much discomfort.